want to talk about something that happened this morning. I wasn't going to share it because it is a little bit more on the private side of things. Um, but I asked Ruben if he was okay with me sharing this, and he is. Um, so, to start, I just want to give some background information on what I'm doing energetically right now. Um, because as more of us healers and those who are deciding to step into their full healing power, connected to the light, as we step up and we do that, we're often met with negative attachments and low level entities that want to latch onto us to stop us from moving towards the light. Um, and they will do that by instigating a lot of fear, using a lot of different fear tactics, such as paranoia, for sure. That was a big one for me. um, Anxiety, worry, depression, tightness in your energy. And then this also shows up, especially in your dreams. And because I posted a video about this, but I'll just explain it again. Every night when you go to sleep, your astral body leaves your physical body. So if your space and your energy is not clear when you go to sleep, anything that's in your field, including energetic fields, including in your lineage if things haven't been removed, or just in your space. Anything low vibration, if you haven't cleansed it and you aren't necessarily protected, it can latch on very easily to your astral body and give you a lot of nightmares and night terrors. I know for myself, this showed up with awful nightmares when I was going through my negative attachments that I had to get rid of. And, I did a lot of that myself, and it felt kind of lonely. But I also found the help of my amazing Reiki practitioner, and she helped me a lot with that kind of stuff too. Um, so, yeah, when this is all happening right now, as more and more people are connected to the light, the dark is threatened because there's not as many people who are living in fear, and fear is the energy that they're living off of. So they will try to instigate that fear in you as much as possible, which is very easily done in the astral realms when you go to sleep, which is why it's super important to cleanse your room before you go to sleep. However you cleanse, in whatever way you want to. For myself, I use a lot of rose water, holy water, crystal work, anything, salt. I use a lot of salt um, in my space to ensure that it is clean and protected, just so that I don't experience those nightmares and night terrors anymore. And typically I don't. I mean, sometimes I still have bad dreams, but it's usually like I'm in high school and I'm late for class. Like, that sucks. But now when I dream a lot of really beautiful, positive experiences in the astral realms, because I've done that work to avoid the negative flip side of that. So, why I'm telling you all of that is because my amazing boyfriend, who I love very, very much, is on his own personal journey towards the light. And he's been coming closer and closer and closer to the light, especially as we've been together. It's been beautiful for me to witness and to help him with, as we help each other very much. Um, but something that I wanted to share that happened last night is that he had a awful nightmare, and he's been having not very good dreams. But last night was incredibly awful, and it really stood out. And he remembered it. And this is something else too: is that if you have negative entities attacking you in the astral realms while you sleep, showing up in your nightmares, you'll remember them. And that's the worst part too, is I still have some of my worst um, nightmares from when I was going through this still burned in my brain. Like I can still remember them. And like you barely remember your dreams when you wake up, except um, these ones that cause a lot of fear. They get like burned into you. Um, so, anyways, this morning he woke up, and he told me right away when he got up that he had an awful dream. And I don't want to go into too much detail about it because it is private for him. But basically, he was fighting the devil, um, and there were negative energies in his dream, specifically a demon attached to his lineage. So, as soon as he started giving me more detail, like about the dream specifically, and I was asking him to tell me all the specifics so I knew exactly what I was working with. um, I knew exactly that it was from his lineage and from his family line and some of the stuff that in his bloodline had been done, working with the kind of darker energies, uh, and the those in his lineage who worked with those energies are not here physically anymore. So they were looking for somebody new to attach on. And, you know, as Ruben is going more and more towards the light, he's becoming more and more of a threat to the livelihood of that entity. And I do a lot of this work on myself. I do it on other people. And I'm still like, I know there's people with years and years of practice with this. I just have a couple years, so I'm not like fully versed in anything, and it's huge, this kind of work. But I knew right away I had to go into my full cleanse routine. um, and it's and then that's what I want to share. So when he was telling me this, you know, I knew right away we had to do a cleansing because I was like, you can't tell me that stuff and then, just expect the energy to be fine. And, he asked actually for me to give him a cleansing. I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. And the biggest thing that I find to be really, really important step is sealing your house. And so how I do that personally is I go around and I put salt on all the windowsills on either side and on either side of the doors. Um, and I work with Archangel Michael and Ascended Master Jesus specifically to do the clearing work that I need to do. And, I took him outside of the house because this is where we live, and I don't want anything coming off of him and staying in the house. And at this time, I was just concerned with getting it off of him. I wasn't concerned with healing the entity myself. For some reason, that wasn't coming up as a part of my job. So we stepped outside. We did my personal clearing ritual. I did it on him, which involves like a number of things, lots of different things. Um, and I also want to mention before we were doing this, I could see it in his face. Like he was like closed like this. He had tightness in his chest. He told me that he was feeling really worried, really anxious, really fearful, and excuse me, sorry. And that's exactly what these lower level entities want to do to you, is to make you stay in that fear because that's the energy that they live off of. So the more that they can instigate that, the more energy that they have. And he was feeling anxious and just like generally scared. And so that's what he was feeling before. Um, so we did the cleansing outside. I put on uh, a really amazing cleansing track inside that I've used myself to take a lot of stuff off. It's just on YouTube. If you want the link, let me know. And, just prayed and stepped into his energy field and took it away. And it sounds weird to explain this kind of stuff. But what it involves is me stepping into his energy field as a total sovereign being in my light and in my power fully. You have to be in that fully. You can't give any doubt of what you're doing. You can't have like any doubts of confidence or anything like that. You have to be fully in it. Um, and I found it. I found, a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. um, a lot of stuff near his feet, a lot of just kind of like dark energy kind of pulling him down out of the bottoms of his feet. Um, oh, there's comments. I can't see the comments right now. I can't scroll down to find them. So I'm just gonna keep talking. um, and yeah, so when you're doing that work, um, it, like, in order to describe it in words is a little bit weird, but basically there was a lot of dark energy just at the bottom of his energy field holding him down, kind of like weighted sandbags a little bit. And there I also found like the family demon, for lack of a better term. And once you find it, you can get rid of it. And you, I mean, for myself, I enlist a lot of higher support, and that's how I get it done. Um, Aside from my own like know-how and doing things like smudging, and honoring the ancestors of the sage while you're doing that, and just asking them to come forward and help you with this. Um, and just basically like took him out of that and dissolved anything that was underneath him in his lower, a lot of stuff like in his lower body and at the feet too. And I even like when you're doing this too, and if you do this yourself, you'll know that when you're doing it, you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're just being guided. So I'll be honest, a lot of it is a blur because I'm a channeler. I haven't shared that very much. I'm coming more publicly about that now. But when you're channeling, it can be a blur, and when you try to remember exactly what happened, um, you just can't really remember because it just kind of happens so fast. But I do remember doing a lot of work underneath his feet and getting him to lift his feet up to clear that energy down below. There was also a lot of clapping too, which just helps clear the air and the energy. Um, and, once it was all said and done, I just said the final cleansing prayer. There is only room for love. There's only room for the frequency of love. Uh, there's a lot more that you have to say, especially when you're dealing with demons and negative attachments like that. They're a little bit stronger, and you have to be more stern. And actually, you have to swear at them. It really works. Um, but yeah, once it was all said and done, um, and I say this all freely because I've done this work on myself as well. Like, and that's why I just talk about like family demons like a regular thing, because I've had them, and a lot of people have them in their family lines, just kind of like hanging out there waiting to latch on to somebody. So I don't mean to like talk bad about like his family, or that's not what I mean. I mean, a lot more people have these than you think, and to me it's just kind of like, okay, like, let's just get rid of it. And I've done it in my own lineage as well. And then once it was all said and done, I asked him how he, and I mean, not to my surprise, I knew he was going to feel better, but I wasn't expecting how much better he would feel. He said he was just feeling so much lighter, that the heaviness and the fear that he was experiencing before was just completely gone. And obviously that just warms my heart so much, because I love my boyfriend very much and I don't want him to experience anything like that. And yeah, I just asked him again how he was feeling comparing before and after. And after, it's just like a total weight lifted, is what he was saying. It's just so much more lightness in your body, especially because a lot of the stuff was underneath him, weighing him down. Like I said, the sandbags. So getting rid of that and getting rid of those negative attachments would make you feel a lot lighter because you don't have that anymore. Um, and I noticed his mood shift. Like right after that, he was much more optimistic. We weren't thinking about that dream anymore. Where you can't focus on that in your head because then you're just giving it more life. You move on. Like it's over. You did the clearing work. It's done. And yeah, and I went to Reiki myself later. Had a great time with my Reiki practitioner. From our needing, and yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to share this, is because I talk a lot about like clearing and healing work, and this is what it is. If you have negative and low vibrational attachments, is usually it takes like a full body cleanse and then a cleansing of your space and a sealing of your home, and making sure that there's only room for the vibration of love, and just repeating that, and enlisting your own personal support team. And it's different for everybody. I have my own prayers, I have my own tools, all that stuff. um, and I wanted to share this. If you're going through that yourself and you're needing help with removing some of that, feel free to book a free consult with me and we can just chat to see if I'm actually the right person to help you and to help remove that for you, because it is very freeing. It's a very freeing experience. Ooh, I've been getting a lot of, you know, hearing things. Hearing problems where my one ear will go, which, if you are a healer and you're attached to the higher realms, um, we're all attached to the higher realms. If you're like fully open to the higher realms, you also risk being open to the lower realms because you might be too open, and sometimes stuff like that will happen. And so you just have to make sure that it's clear. And yeah, and that's all I wanted to share. I'm so excited to be sharing this and like to be speaking about it and to get like amazing responses. It just feels so amazing to just finally fully be authentic in who I am and what I do and what I offer. So if you're interested in learning more about that or what a session with me would look like, then just book a free consult or feel free to send me a message. That's all. Mwah. Time to watch The Good Doctor. See you later. Bye.